I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Troll is troll.
The troll is troll he is, and we are live! Hi, I'm William, and I am the Dungeon Master for this Warcraft RPG campaign of Storm, Earth, and Fire. And once again, I mean, it was the easy name. Sometimes the correct name is the easy name.
You mean the easy name is the correct name?
These are not.
Well, if the correct name is the easy name, then the easy name is the correct name.
Yeah. Well, that was easy.
These are true facts.
When last we left off.
Yeah, when last we left off. Well, first off, actually, we're going to introduce our player characters, starting with John.
Oh, I am John, and I'm playing Garrick Cloudspeaker, Orc Shaman of the Horde.
And Holly.
I'm Holly, and I am playing Shiana Flamecarver, the rogue
I
thing.
have a reflex save now.
Rogue thing.
Yeah.
She has one arm.
3 levels and
Gotta do a rogue thing.
What does it feel like?
+1.
And Austin.
Hi, I'm playing a troll.
That's
What's the troll's name?
He's a troll.
Jean Gatal. Austin, there are people that listen to this in audio format, and it helps if they know who the fuck you are.
My character never refers to himself or identifies by his name.
But we do.
Austin is playing Jangatal Wildwalker, the troll.
There we go.
He's also a cannibal.
Again, the troll.
And Stan.
playing Josh, the Goblin Tinker.
And Zachary.
I'm Zach, and I'm playing Leaf Ironmender, half-human priest of the Holy Light.
And also in Bison.
Right. I completely forgot about that.
Oh, and if you're watching this live, in a couple of days, Twitch TV is going to have all the episodes of Doctor Who streaming for about 7 weeks.
Oh, yeah, all the old stuff, I guess.
So
all
that's for
all that they have access to.
Yes.
Oh,
No, it goes from.
And Rudy, you were also a little. Can we adjust this camera?
all the
cutting
original.
off Rudy a little bit. There we go.
Yay!
All the stuff that wasn't literally burned
And Rudy.
down beyond.
That's
Yeah.
Earth Whisper.
They've got some of that
Rune Master.
All right. Now, when last we left our group, they had just been reunited in the fort of Crossroads, in the northern end of the Barrens. And the group had done a little bit of traveling to try and get there, learning a little bit more about how the world has been changed in the wake of the cataclysmic events of a few days ago. Setting out with a map to update as they come along new features of the landscape. They eventually made their way to Crossroads, where they encountered their missing companion, Garrick Clanrender. Cloudspeaker. Sorry, that was the other name you had.
That was the other name.
One arm.
Garrick Cloudspeaker. And shortly after reunion with him, ended up the city of the Crossroads became under attack by the Alliance.
Became under attack. Passive voice.
It was the most passive attack. Really just...
We are here, and we are attacked.
After repelling the assault from the Alliance forces, who seem to be largely consisting of Theramore and Stormwind soldiers, with a number of Dwarven assistants, the group looted the bodies, and I believe we left off with all of you in the middle of conversation in the aftermath of the battle.
Yes, I'm explaining what happened to me. So, well, I was going to do that, and you guys were going to explain what happened while I was gone. It's a trade of information.
Mhm.
It's about making sure everyone knows what's happening. So, after the flood came, it washed me away a great distance. I woke in a cavern near Tarajo?
Camp Tarajo.
Camp Tarajo. Camp Tarajo. Chevy Tarajo. Near Camp Tarajo, which had been attacked by forces dressed in Alliance colors, though led by a man in black obsidian armor, wielding a sword of flame. This man strong enough to lift a Tauren in one hand.
Would my Alliance background tell me any more about this individual?
No. But do you have history?
Not history, no.
Then no.
Not yet.
Seemingly human, though, dressed armored head to toe in this. Having seen this, I rode from there to Crossroads to spread word and get back to Razor Hill in order to inform them of what has become, though I see that the Alliance forces managed to get here shortly after I arrived. Though I did not see that armored individual on the field, I do not know if this is the same forces that attacked Tarajo or not.
I imagine the battle would not have gone nearly as well if he was here.
Unlikely. There was a warlock out by Camp Tarajo, a human hermit living on his own. Apparently, the Twilight Hammer are active in the area. You may not know.
Do I have any idea what that
You
is?
may not know the Twilight Hammer.
If you have knowledge local or military, you can roll that. You would need either knowledge military or history, or do you have religion?
Religion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can roll your religion.
I have
22.
local.
Did I make a religion roll related to that?
No, you had a history thing, or like,
I think you just knew who they were.
yeah.
I mean, I just know they're active. Can I make a religion roll to see what else I know about them?
Sure.
'Cause I know who they were because I was active in the Second War. Or I was born shortly after the Second War.
Who?
That's a
22.
12.
Okay. Well, beats a 9.
Okay. So the two of you know of the Twilight's Hammer just by reputation and name, basically. You know that the Twilight's Hammer was... The Twilight's Hammer clan in the Second War was highly active and consisted of a large number of ogres. In fact, it was the only orc clan that had an ogre for a leader. The ogre Cho'Gall was the leader of the Twilight's Hammer, who was a powerful ogre mage who worked in the Shadow Council underneath Gul'dan, the orc known to have basically betrayed the orcish race to demons that led to their long enslavement. The Twilight's Hammer was thought to have been wiped out with the forming of the New Horde and the end of the Second and Third War, but there are constantly rumors that occasional people who still cling to that banner occasionally pop up every now and then, and it no longer seems to be a clan of any real respect. It doesn't just include orcs, it doesn't just include ogres. There are also members of human races and various other races that call themselves the Twilight's Hammer. It's more of a cult than a clan now.
Okay.
You know very similarly that the Twilight's Hammer, as far as you know, is a cult that has popped up all across the world. It has agents everywhere. They're a difficult organization to stamp out. They tend to appear in locations of distress, usually looking for recruits with their promises of power and safety in exchange for loyalty and work toward dark rituals. No one knows exactly who is leading them. No one knows what their ultimate goal is, but they seem to be a constant force of coercion and cult tactics that appears where one finds people in distress or people who are in desperation. When someone has no one else to turn to, the Twilight's Hammer shows up often to offer them membership in exchange for assistance.
Great.
This human was apparently hunting and found me in the floodwaters at the time. So, we need to get this information back to Razor Hill, but before that, please tell me what has happened in my absence.
Well, the Iron Fang showed up after
Yes.
yeah. Well, in the wake of much of the destruction, wandering group, the Iron Fang, showed up at Razor Hill, offered us help. They helped us get on our feet. We were, it seemed, a little better off than many other places were. We were sent off to scout around and see what the nature of this little apocalypse has been for other areas. We've got an updated map of how some of the geography has changed, but we eventually found High Watch, was it? The
Farwatch Post.
Farwatch. I keep saying High Watch. We found Farwatch Post in a ruined state, and I'm curious, do you know anything about this? I show the axe that we found there.
I mean, I assume I instantly recognize the symbol.
You know the symbol of the burning blade very well.
This is an axe of the burning blade. I cast Identify on it.
It's a plain basic axe. It's just it's a masterwork axe.
+1 to hit.
Better than my sword.
It's a battle axe though. It's not a great axe.
Yeah.
D8 damage, but +1 to hit.
It was a well-crafted weapon of the burning blade. Do I recognize its wielder? Would I recognize its wielder?
Roll me military knowledge.
I don't have that.
What do you have knowledges?
Nature of the plains, religion, arcana.
You would not know.
No. Okay. I can. Yeah. Alright. I am unfamiliar with its wielder, but.
Oh.
it would
What
likely
name did
be
that
a
guy
blade
say
master
was,
of
The,
some
the
power.
name you were given was Mankrik.
Menkrick.
Mankrik.
So I just mentioned the name that
Do I
we
know
heard.
Mankrik is?
Nope.
You don't know.
I am unfamiliar.
The name is familiar from the ranks of the Burning Blade, but you don't know the man or any of his deeds.
I trained under Samuro of the Burning Blade, but I
Like
have
you-
not.
You know the name
Yeah.
as a member of the Burning Blade, but you don't know anything about the member himself.
I've heard the name before. That is all I know.
He's
We-
apparently a man filled with hate.
As much of the Burning Blade were.
He carries quite a reputation, it would seem. We found this axe embedded through a quill bore, and
Into the wall.
we assumed that that's what happened to Farwatch Post. We found quill bore tracks leading to it, and some leading away from it to the farming areas nearby. We tracked them up there, but they were able to repel what little was left of the force.
Do I know why a member of the Burning Blade would leave his axe embedded in a wall?
I probably did.
Generally speaking, there's something more important than retrieving your weapon going on.
Yeah.
Usually Burning Blade members carry more than one weapon, although they have a signature. They would never leave their signature weapon behind.
This
know
is
that
not
you-
likely his signature weapon.
No.
Well, members of the Burning Blade, while they pride themselves on their skill with a particular weapon, tend to have more than one on them. If this was left behind, it was not his signature weapon. He obviously didn't. He obviously was preoccupied with something else. He very well could have been chasing after the quillbores. How many bodies did you find?
Just one.
Weren't there two?
There was the one Quillbore.
Just the one.
There was the one
Quillbore.
quill bore in the bunker, and then there was one outside of it, wasn't there?
No.
No.
You found drag marks of bodies that had been carried away,
Yeah.
but no other bodies.
So everything was carted off except that one body.
Do I know what quill boars do with prisoners?
Eat them.
Eat them?
Yeah. So that's most likely.
He may have gone after the quill boars to rescue any who were taken prisoner. Did you get a direction? Plot.
So on the map,
Sure, yeah.
a large number of the forces that went to Far Watch seem to have retreated
Unsteady,
to
but
these
right around.
mountains.
Right around there.
There on the border of Duratar and the Barrens.
How far away would that be from us?
It'd be south of Farwatch, so you'd be heading probably Razor Hill or Crossroads back to Farwatch. Probably about 20 hours of travel.
Let the commander here know. If our people are still alive in the hands of the quill boars, we should do something to aid.
Something like 16.
How many days ago was it? I mean, was that
It's
hours ago?
been 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I thought that was.
No, that was.
I thought it was
the
2 days
forced
ago.
march.
But it was
Plus-
it's 20 hours of travel from Farwatch to Crossroads.
Okay, I thought we
Yeah.
did a force march on one of those days though.
You did.
Yeah, we
that
did.
only got you
On
to
the very
12
end,
hours.
that was 4 hours. That's
just
it.
we cut off 4 hours.
It was the last 4 hours of taking Crossroads, and that's why we had the exhaustion penalties.
That's why you guys had the exhaustion penalties.
It's like okay.
Yes.
Those are the 2 people that failed the roll, yes. Is there anything else that happened?
There's a dragon.
Truly.
Deathwing, have you heard the name?
What am I rolling?
Just general intelligence check. It's hard to miss this.
You sure I don't get like nature or the planes or religion?
Nope.
5.
You know the name Deathwing is associated with a dragon that was active during the Second War. It provided assistance. The Second War. Yeah.
Yeah, first and second.
First and Second War. Provided assistance to the orcs, particularly one Necro Skullcrusher and his conquest of the Red Dragon Flight to use as dragon mounts for the Horde during the Second War. He disappeared sometime during the end of the Second War, though, and that's all that you know about him.
I'm familiar with the name, only so much as it was a historical figure within the First and Second War our people had with the humans.
Well, it's rather hard to miss a
It's
massive
back, it wants to
magma
kill
dragon laying waste to the land.
Would explain a great many things.
He came in shortly after the flood did.
Well then. I'll detail all the changes in the terrain that I found on my way to Crossroads from where I
yeah.
was for the map.
Updating
So
maps.
you can update it. I'll go speak with the commander of Crossroads and let him know about the quill boar situation. I at least need to get a message back to Razor Hill.
It's also worth noting it's like midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
You
a
guys
lot
just
of-
finished the
Yeah, just
fight.
finished the battle.
Rest. I'll be joining you shortly. And I'm gonna go find the commander. What's his name?
Thork.
Yes, Thork. That's it.
Yeah.
Thork. Thork.
Like an orcish Thor.
Yes, Thork.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
I mean, he might have a hammer.
No, he has a great sword.
He might have luxurious blonde hair.
No, he's red.
He might have lightning powers.
No, he's a warrior.
Oh.
So nothing like it.
Uh,
Just like we said.
Although mythological Thor did have red hair, not blonde hair.
this is true.
Aside from all those facts, he's just like Thor.
I will hold
We don't
on.
know Thor anyway.
Unless someone else like desperately
So he
wants
has
to
power
wield,
over oak trees.
unless someone else desperately wants
Sure.
to wield the battle axe, I'll
Excellent.
take it. Just for now.
Can Brooke use
No.
it or not?
Brooke uses
Rune
his
masters
fists.
don't use them.
Oh no, don't. Yeah, that's right.
Weapons.
Okay. So
They
you're the
can
only one.
use some weapons, but
These
they
are
don't
his
need to.
weapons.
Yeah, you're the only one that can use it. I think. Besides, if we could train the troll.
I mean, Young and all could use it, but I don't think
Isn't it a
everyone
martial weapon?
else does.
Is it martial? No.
It's martial.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
martial.
martial. Yeah, it is
Do
martial.
you have martial
Yeah.
proficiencies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically use it.
It's a masterwork weapon, so it's not magical. So rock light weapon still applies to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes, but the +1 to hit, or Warcraft doesn't give a +1
Yeah,
to hit.
it gives a +1 to hit
Yeah,
with no
+1
stack.
It does, yeah, that doesn't stack because it's still an enhancement bonus.
But the size increase, the damage does.
So it'd be 2d8 rather than 1d8. Or what would it
No. It'd be
2d6?
3d6.
be? 3d6. Okay. So not as good as my greatsword, but if I lose my greatsword, I've got it back.
Yeah.
Also, if
I'm
you
intending
need,
to
if
give
you
it
need
to
to hit
Mandrake.
somebody,
anyways. Well, because Rock Biter Weapon gives a +1 to attack and damage. So
I mean, if you have time to use your Rock Fire weapon up.
yeah, that's a fair point. Anyways, I'm gonna go find Thor.
And he's sort of rounding up the remains of this battle and is helping to get the wounded back inside the palisades.
Commander,
Yes.
I've regrouped with my allies, and it seems that we have more issues that require a pressing response.
I noticed a good number of them, and you brought me a prisoner who's going to be getting interrogated shortly. What else do you have to report?
Farwatch to the north was ransacked by quill boars. Survivors may exist in their hive, but a blade master from the Burning Blade named Mancrick has likely gone after them.
Oh, Mancrick, you fool.
Everybody knows him.
I'll hold out the battle axe to
It's like
indicate.
everybody just.
This was left embedded in a quill boar at Farwatch.
That's his axe, all right.
Put it back on the belt.
If Mancrick is going after the quill boars, you probably won't have to worry about them for much longer. Either that, or we won't have Mancrick for much longer. But
One way or t'other.
only one of them is going to be leaving any of those environs.
Should we not send a rider at the very least to ascertain what's going on?
Farwatch Post is 20 hours ride on Wolfback. And we were just under attack. I don't have the horses to spare right now.
Well, if we're to ride, I will determine what our next destination is with my group, and if we are to ride back to Razor Hill to update them, then maybe we'll swing by and see.
Be careful. Mancrick is dangerous on the warpath, but if you're dealing with a host of quillboars, I'd suspect not even he will take them all out.
That is my fear. With the Alliance raiding as they are, we cannot afford to lose a Blade Master.
Well, Blade Masters are becoming rarer and rarer every day.
Loktar.
Loktaroga.
And I'll head back to the rest to sleep, because I'm tired too.
Can't imagine why.
No. Something about raging and smashing around Alliance soldiers.
All right. all you get a long rest. You can refill your hit points and your mana points. I believe one of you is beyond fatigue into exhaustion, so your exhaustion just goes back to fatigue.
Okay.
And you're gonna need another night's rest before that'll go away.
Or a day's rest.
Looking at the map that they've done, how much of the Barrens have they mapped so far?
Basically, just the path from Razor Hill to Crossroads.
And then my addition adds how much of the Barrens?
So you've gone from Duratar across the northern end of the Barrens down to Crossroads, and you have the end that goes toward Mulgore, the green area.
So we've got most of the Northern Barrens.
Yeah, you got a good portion of the northern Barrens.
And we know, and at least they know from collaboration with other groups that the line that cuts the Barrens in half.
You did learn from the scout at Groldom Farm that there is a massive rent in the earth that splits off the northern Barrens from the southern Barrens.
So we've got most of the Barrens mapped.
Most of the northern Barrens.
Most of the northern Barrens mapped. We don't. We'd have to. Do we? From talking with the scouts, did we learn if we'd even be able to cross that gash?
I mean, I talked with the scouts and saw their maps and updated it through that, so would we?
There is a way around it. It doesn't run the entire length, but basically walking around it is going to be an ordeal, basically, because It's either you go over it somehow with a bridge of some construction or something, or you go around it, and around it basically requires you to go from where you're at towards the shoreline and then back around underneath it.
So
So we've got to go back
my suggestion would be
anyway.
my suggestion
Or
would be
actually towards the mountain line of Mulgore, through Mulgore to
you
go
go
around
through
it.
more. So my suggestion would be when we turn,
Give me that.
head back towards Razor Hills, see if we can find an 8th manuscript on the way. Report to Razor Hill the Alliance activity in the area as well as the updated map, and potentially take the coastline down around the gash in the Barrens.
It's also best to inform them sooner rather than later, what with moving forces and us being particularly fortunate in getting so much area mapped out in so little time.
For your edification, first for the audience, this line right here, this
I
giant
don't know if
line,
they can see that.
they can. This
He's
giant line
looking
right here is what they're talking about. And then for the rest of you, see that burning red line in the middle of the Barrens?
Oh,
Is currently marked on your map.
So we've got everything basically from their Duratar map currently. Did I see the gash as I was coming from Taraho?
You weren't
Too
looking
far
for it.
north.
I mean, would I have seen it?
You would have seen upheaval in the earth, but unless you actually went close to it, you wouldn't have
Okay.
seen what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way out to the water, so we'd have to
Yeah.
we'd have to take the water around or take Mulgore.
Or go over it.
I
With
mean-
a bridge of some sort.
Yeah, or build
fly.
a bridge over it. Yeah, or fly. If we get a Zeppelin or something, that'd be great. A Zeppelin would be the ideal way to map the land.
Well, until that hot air draft from the molten rock that is in the cavern hits
Well,
you.
yeah, but you can get past that.
With an expert pilot, when it's not that good.
I'll try anything twice.
Assuming you survive the first time.
So, does anyone have any other suggestions?
Well, we were just sent out to map this stuff, right? And did they say how far west we were supposed to go, or just?
They just wanted you to map everything you could, and basically report back when you feel you've done all you can at the moment.
Oh, okay. So
I feel like
they're
with
not
how
looking for-
far we'd have to move out from this current area, we may as well report back. What with
report back and then
getting word from other scouts and your own adventures, we'd be wandering a far way to get more information than this.
And I would like Orgrimmar to know that the Alliance troops have attacked Crossroads, at the very least.
And especially Razor Hill, they should need defenses up. If
the Alliance are here, they've likely come by water, which means Razor Hill is particularly vulnerable. Well done. Let's retrieve wolves and ride.
did the commander here say when he was going to interrogate that one soldier if there is any information we can gain about troop movements, then it's best that we have that when we report back as well.
If this is true, we should go check in with Thor.
Also, what with the banners they were flying, that squadron seems lost at the very best.
Or they may not be. As I said, the Alliance forces that were led by the Obsidian Knight seemed to be, at least from the supposition of the human that rescued me, and did the Tauren that I found also say something about them not being right? Or I don't remember what the Tauren said.
He just said that they came and butchered
Just say
everyone.
that again for sure. They may not be true Alliance forces. The ones that attacked us seemed to be, at least from what I saw. Though the Twilight Hammer operating in the area, there's not much that could be said to be true.
Certainly makes sense that your Obsidian Knight would at the very least not be with them. If there's one thing that I know about the Alliance, it's that they always want to be heroes. And wearing full black armor with a flaming sword typically isn't the human way of being a hero.
Also, no human I've ever met could lift a Tauren with one hand.
Precisely.
Let's just say indicating brick.
Quite a feat.
It would take me 2 minutes, at the very least.
Alright, so talk to Commander.
So, let's go speak with Commander Thork.
Alright, so yeah, you meet up. You head into the central war tent, basically, of Crossroads, and you see.
And also, curious, as we're moving around, like, what kind of damages happened with this?
A number of the
Attack.
palisades have been knocked down. You can see bullet holes occasionally in different spots. The damage is to the defenses is extensive. A number of the defenses are going to have to be rebuilt. To the people, there's a handful of dead, a handful of injured, but overall the attack was relatively soundly repelled, which to your mind speaks of poor planning, because Crossroads is a stationary location that had, its defenses already damaged by just the cataclysm, and then this attack force came in and couldn't sack them.
Yeah. And also, it's kind of interesting, and actually, like, as we're moving, I'll point out, but it's strange that they would attack head-on, considering in the wake of the cataclysm, there's not a whole lot of trade routes, and there's not much travel, and everything that has been providing supplies has been rather poorly armed. It would be exceptionally easy to siege a city under these conditions, but they attacked head-on against walls that they had no chance of crossing. It's worrying.
And so you enter.
Given the information that I've received previously, either they thought we were weaker, more off-footed than we were, which is a possibility. The racial underestimation that orcs tend to do of humans goes both ways. Or it was not meant to succeed, in which case, what was the objective?
And so you all enter the war tent, and you see Thork alongside that elderly orc woman, both having a conversation with each other. The human that you have brought in is unconscious on the far wall, tied up still. And you enter, and you just catch the tail end of. And the attack itself was foolish at best. Why would they send these forces here?
Commander Thork.
Our travelers from Razor Hill, he says, turning to face the group of you.
We are intended to return and deliver our report to Razor Hill and theoretically further on to Orgrimmar. Is there anything you'd like to send with us? I say indicating the human.
No, we didn't get too much out of him. Enough to learn that the land south of the Rent, that has popped up in the middle of the Barrens, have been hit just as hard. Conquest Hold is facing constant siege, and Valiant's Keep, the Alliance post, have been attempting to siege what lands they can.
Did these forces come from the keep?
Potentially.
It's too far away, isn't it?
It's quite a distance, especially with the rent in the land.
Especially,
Or perhaps they were cut off by the Rent.
Desperation would explain their attack.
Perhaps they were desperate for supplies and couldn't find any near areas. What with nearby towns succumbing to a rather poor fate, perhaps they attempted to.
Well, what kind of things were recovered from the dead on I mean, what did they have supplies, or were they really low on supplies?
We didn't find much in the way of rations or living materials.
Okay, so that could be.
Sorry, Desolation Hold and Northwatch Hold. Correction on the names.
But still, their assault wasn't really. I mean, especially where they had firearms, they could have done a lot more from a distance before they ran an attack.
They would have run out of ammunition before they could make a very strong impact. We could huddle behind our walls until they run out of bullets. They would have had to have charged regardless.
The fact that they didn't simply attempt to siege us out,
Means they couldn't afford a siege.
either they couldn't afford a siege,
They didn't have enough stuff.
or, as you said, if something else was driving them, perhaps they simply needed the defenses down. Trying to defeat the defenses, knowing that perhaps a secondary force would come later.
In the Second War, a common tactic would be to send goblins with explosives into the walls, hoping to bring them down. The goblins were never expected to survive. It is potentially that was the objective with their dwarves. Bring down the walls. Rush against the walls long enough for their dwarves to bring them down so that they could get inside.
After all, there did seem to be quite the emphasis on sappers.
Yes.
Well, nonetheless, this attack cannot be left unanswered. Our forces will have to be rallied, and we'll have to find out where they came from and put them down.
We will inform Razor Hill and hopefully receive reinforcements for Crossroads.
Well, Razor Hill must worry about its own, but if the war is being renewed, I suspect we'll have the eyes of the war chief here soon.
If possible, I would require a wolf to ride. My allies brought their own.
We'll supply you with one.
Thank you. We will be on our way back to Razor Hill then.
Very well. From Ka, spirits guide you.
You as well. Turn locked.
Okay.
Before we go, weren't we supposed to give thanks to someone for the backup that
We did that
Yeah.
did we already do that?
that note we handed to, where was that? Yeah, we already did that.
You were
before we sent
told
it off.
to tell Thork that Cranal Fis thanks him for the reinforcements.
Oh, right. That was what.
I mean, we're still there. You can step
Yeah,
back
I
in
will-
and go. Before we leave.
As we were leaving.
Oh.
Cranal Fisk? Right.
Cranal Fis.
Cranal.
Phi double S.
Oh.
Get it down.
Fists.
Yes.
Like fist, but with a second S instead of a T.
Also, Cranal Fisk, thanks you for the reinforcements.
Well, I couldn't exactly let our food supply run amok, but it's good to know that the old man is still standing. Thank you for the information. Best of luck.
Yes.
I nod.
Looking at the map, if we go by the Kobor Warrens where Mankrik was heading, would we cut any amount of time off our travel?
You'd be cutting through the Barrens themselves as opposed to following the road, which might, not having to travel north to the turning in the road to head east, might cut a little bit of time off, but you'd be risking wild animals and any other threats that roam the Barrens at the moment.
We can handle wild animals.
It depends.
I mean,
He
We're
just
level-
eats them.
he can handle wild
We're level
animals.
3.
Depends on the animals.
Oh yeah, we're level 3. Let's go face death.
Level 3. Level 3. Yeah, that would.
We could try it.
I will cast an augury and ask the spirits
What, facing animals or deathwing?
whether or not it would be wise to, whether or not coming
Yeah,
across the Barrens to retrieve.
Currently, the
Mankrik would
entire
be
world
wise.
seems kind of out to kill us, so I kind of don't want to risk randomly
Is that
running
the
into, like,
spell
I don't know,
augury?
space
Yeah, spell
krakens or
augury.
something.
Space Kraken?
I don't know.
That sounds awesome. I want to be
So-
a Space Kraken.
Basically, before
I'm
we
gonna tame one.
before we head out, as we're sort of standing
My animal companion.
as we're sort of standing by our mounts, I will sort of kneel down and basically sort of in the sand, in the dirt, trace with a piece of bone, trace.
Someone
some
hand me a
symbols.
D100.
A who?
Someone hand me a D100.
100? 100. Here's 100.
I will trace some symbols in the thing, and basically, spirits of our ancestors guide our travels. Should we attempt to aid our brother Mancrick
He's not
on
much of
our
an
path?
artist, is he?
And then I will just sort of reach
He's
out
really
and ask
not.
spirits.
I mean, you could do better one-handed.
What's the question?
He's gonna die one day.
Asking if it would be if attempting to retrieve Mancrick would be a good idea or a bad idea.
She's gonna feed you to him.
The augury returns both weal and woe.
So potentially good or bad.
Well, good results and potentially bad results as well.
It's a 50-50.
The spirits have left the decision to us.
Basically, it said there will be good things, but there will also be bad things.
Well, if we can get good things.
I feel Mancrick would be a valuable asset in these trying times.
I'm willing to try it.
The rest of you?
I say we go for it.
Sorry, what? I'm
She's petting the dog.
Anyways, we're deciding if we want to go try to help Mancrick out on our way back to Razor Hill.
If we run into him.
The objective being like we can cut across the Barrens to potentially run into him, or go up the road, which would mean we don't.
I mean, they're probably either dead or he saved them. But we could check.
But across the Barrens it is.
Yay.
Chart our course, basically, rather than
Right to the
going
hills.
up and over, we're just gonna like skirt the hills.
Yeah. Go through the hills.
All right.
A more direct course back to Razor Hill, which also theoretically will get us there faster
If we don't run into anything.
if we don't die.
Really
if we
fun.
don't die, to kill
If we're never, yeah. Depending on how
I
often.
don't think we can get lost because we've got the mountains to guide us.
Yeah. We won't get lost. It's just a matter of being delayed by battles and
Yeah.
miscellaneous other problems.
Because so long as we keep the mountains on the right hand side, we're going in the right
Sure.
direction.
All right. Well then.
We ride. Every time I say we ride, I have to do that.
I just imagine your wolf doing that the entire way.
It's the sound. It's in Warcraft 3. It's the sound or was it? Yeah, it was 3. The orc riders, the wolf riders. Whenever you would select them and give them a command, they would go, "We ride." Because the
It's a
wolves
lot
would
deeper
bark.
noise than that because it was wolf noises, but
Whatever.
Wolf noises and not slightly agitated puppy noises.
Actually, it wasn't that deep.
it was relatively
It's really
deep. The wolves had a deep howl. I played that recently. But yeah, so you get about 8 hours in, and the 8 hours of ride-in after making all your preparations and all your mounts getting ready, and at that point the sun is beginning to set. You could, again, you can continue to press on beyond darkness, or you can try and find a place to camp for the evening. But the sun is beginning to set, and it's been about 8 hours of ride.
We should
Probably ought to
probably
hit, yeah.
If we're already taking the
Find a
riskier
place to
path,
be.
we
Yes,
shouldn't take more
absolutely.
risks than needed.
Absolutely.
Try to find a defensible position.
William,
Little
I have a
hill.
question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this previously, but I've just received some new information. Ancestral Healing Ward is a totem spell.
Mhm.
and it says it works just as a healing ward does.
Mm-hmm.
Healing ward does not have the totem tag on it.
And its actual healing ward specifically works on bloodkin.
Yeah.
So, or things that you've marked as kin.
Yes. But other than that, it works the same as healing ward. But healing ward doesn't have a totem tag because totem tags didn't exist in the core rules.
Yes, that's why there's a totem version of it.
Yeah, I would say that the healing ward healing ward is a totem spell. The ones that aren't are stasis trap and serpent ward. Because healing wards channel water spirits, whereas serpent wards are basically snake spirits that bite at things.
Okay.
And the stasis trap is a trap. It's a magical trap.
Yes,
Setting a
healing
watch?
ward does not
Yeah.
have.
Healing ward is a totem.
Okay,
Stasis trap and serpent ward.
that's what I want to know. Right, healing ward's a level 3 spell. I can't cast it yet, but I figured it doesn't have the totem tag because it's in the core rules, which doesn't have totems.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some hunting along the way to replenish food
Roll me
because
survival
food is good.
I will also hunt for food.
and stuff.
Okay.
I'm good at that. I mean, except when I roll a 2, which makes it a 10.
28.
28.
I have a plus 8 to survival for food. Oh, wait, sorry, no, I have a plus 10. That's 12. I have a plus 10 to survival for food.
So you managed to find a couple of plains rabbits, so some food. Whereas Jangatal, after a bit of searching, finds a roost of eagles and manages to take the eagle and its mate that had been at the roost, and also the snake that had been trying to get into the roost, and the eggs.
And 26 roaches.
No witnesses.
Take a break.
No, just shut the doors. No witnesses.
Just simultaneously snap all their necks.
Snapping a snake's neck is particularly impressive because they're all neck.
No, you grab the head and you hold it real tight and you squeeze as you snap it like a whip.
Just like a whip, yeah.
Or no, I snap the eagle's necks with the snake.
You use the snake to kill the
I use the snake as a garrote on both of them at once.
Loops.
Needless to say, the troll
You come
returns
back
to the
with-
camp dragging a nest by a snake.
And he's picking his teeth with an eagle beak.
You come back like with the eagles tied up in the snake, and just like a handful of eggs in your other hand.
Let's take the whole nest. Why not?
I mean, that's kind of how I imagine. Like, you walk by, oh, hey, eagles. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, that's what you return with.
Sometimes you roll really well on your hunting.
So yeah,
The troll, as usual, comes in carrying meat, but this time it's meat that you would actually consume.
yeah. I mean, there's the snake, but you know,
Snake tastes pretty good, actually.
actually, it's not
Depends,
bad.
Actually, I'd rather eat a snake than an eagle,
Yeah. Yes.
if we're going to be honest about it.
Not the least of which because I imagine the legality of eating certain species of eagles would be quite dubious.
In America, yes.
Here, yes.
Yeah.
But this is not America.
Before we rest,
It wouldn't be as bad as crow anyway, as far as the meat.
because we've got time and it lasts for 24 hours.
Uh-oh.
Before we've got rest, I'm basically just going to cast Mark Kim on all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
And you like with that?
You denote one ally as a kin, as spirits of your ancestors, accept your ally as blood relative. For the duration of the spell, you treat your ally as blood relative for spell effects. In addition, you and your new can get a +4 attack bonus when flanking with each other, instead of the normal +2 attack bonus for the duration of the spell. Duration 24 hours, target one ally at a time.
Alright.
So,
They say
spend
at a time or just one
just
ally?
one ally, it just says target one ally. But it doesn't say it ends if you target another ally. So, like, I can take
Yeah.
I can take one standard action and 5 mana and cast it on all of you. So that also says with each other. So we all get +4 flanking bonuses with no matter who you're flanking with.
Yeah.
And you all are affected by my ancestral healing ward, which I can cast spontaneously. So for the next 24
so
hours,
what's the rotation?
for the next 24 hours, we all
Watch.
I'll take first watch.
and then basically, you know, it's
I'll
like
take
that.
second watch. That's when we're gonna get attacked anyway.
In the eyes of our ancestors, we are now all kin. Blood of my blood, blah 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 blah. Anyways,
I mean, I thought we already were, but good for them to catch up.
Good for them to catch
just for them
up.
to get
I've lit a fire under a large rock, and I have scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
So first watch, second watch.
I'll take third watch.
Okay, I'll take
That
that.
way you can
Cool.
sleep and get rid of that.
Yeah, you need to get rid. You need to rest.
That.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
Shiana sleeps.
Whatever. I'm fine.
Brick, take the morning.
So everyone who's taking a watch, go ahead and roll me a spot check.
Well, here's hoping we don't get ambushed on my watch.
21.
Or my watch.
Hang on, I'm gonna call you out for the watch order.
This is
I
not
assume I've
good.
got last watch since they don't.
Well,
Or
Brick
maybe
does.
a Brick does. Never mind then. I'm not
We
watching.
only need 4 watches.
Yeah, you're eating.
I mean, you could join a watch.
There's more than one of you can be on a watch if you want.
Yeah.
Well, the way I rolled indicates no, I did not take a watch.
Okay.
Even
So
if
you're
you
going to watch, but then
You're gonna be awake, but you're just not
even if
watching.
it was there, it wasn't taking a watch.
I'm
All right.
so glad I have a massive bonus to spot.
I know,
First watch.
right?
Oh, 10.
10?
Healers are good watchers because we get massive bonuses.
And it's actually it's so far the only skill that I put more than 1 rank into.
Mhm.
Because I have too many class skills.
Um,
I haven't put a single rank into it. I just have +3 wisdom. Or +3 bonus.
Nice.
so,
Oh yeah, and my wisdom went up this level, so.
First one,
Wait,
we're
actually,
already
never mind.
dead.
That means that it's a 11.
Yay!
My wisdom went up this level, so all my skills go up.
yep. So, you spot nothing seems to approach the camp over the course of your rest leave, but you see movement in the sky. Against the backdrop of stars, it's very easy to make out faint, almost serpentine shapes in the sky.
Is it
Yes,
specifically Deathwing shaped?
No, that's big. This is
Okay.
just like a snake, just across the sky. Just
Does
This is a missile, not a.
It's
It's like a
the
koala.
constellation
Oh, hey.
Draco.
The goblins have declared war. Great.
No, so
Is there any
instead
kind
we're
of
going to break the
creature
campaign
that this
by
would
going
remind
out,
me of,
ICBMing a dragon.
second.
Is there any
Level
kind of
3,
creature
we
this
can
would
do it.
remind me of?
Do you,
or-
what knowledge do you have?
Religion, the planes, engineering, arcana, and local.
You can roll me religion.
Cool.
Separated into 3 sections.
18.
18.
So you have to do
There is a
the
type
last one.
of animal that lives
First
in typically like mountainous or forested areas, but also around the Barrens because it has a little bit of mountain and some grassland. But particularly around Mulgore and the Barrens, there is a type of animal that exists that is often revered by various faiths as a spirit of the sky, or as a creature that is in tune with the wind spirits, called a wind serpent, which is, from your understanding, is basically like a winged snake. It's a snake with wings. Hard to say whether or not there's any true significance to them, but often the more animalistic religions, like you've heard tell that Quillbores worship them as sky spirits, The trolls often associate them with one of the Loa of the sky. The Tauren see them as harbingers of the sky and the Earth Mother. They see them as spiritual, and the orcs often associate them with the spirit of air. Hard to say what their significance is individually, but that's what you know about them, and that's what that seemed to be, potentially.
Can I feel any sort of presence of them? Because you said there's a lot of like spiritual or whatever sort of.
Yeah, a lot of people place spiritual significance on them. You can go ahead and roll me a spirit check.
11.
There is a sense of air around you. Like this.
Well, good than not, better than not having it.
You're not underwater.
As opposed to not having air around you. You're in the vacuum of space.
There's
Congratulations.
suddenly a sense of water around you, and you realize that the tidal wave came back.
But you're only recently able to make any contact with the spirits. It's something that you were not trained for. You're a priest. You channel the holy light. But recently you've sort of been gaining a little bit of the understanding and the contact that your orcish heritage has with the spirits and the elements.
Hanging out with Garrick,
And there's this faint sense like the wind is whispering more than usual, that it is perhaps more alive than most. It seems like it's paying attention to you.
As the watch goes on, I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier back at the inn, with just sort of channeling the holy light just through my various spells, and just sort of, instead of really focusing on the effect of the spell itself, just kind of analyzing what it's doing, how it's acting on the world. So with both seeing how the holy light manifests through my own spells and casting, as well as possibly seeing if or how the spirits react to that.
How the spirits respond to the light. It's, as you channel the energy of the light, it's this warmth, this comforting sensation that sort of flows through you, and you feel its warmth suffuse you, and it's a soothing voice in your mind that sort of eases pain and worry, and sort of instills this sensation of relaxation. And as you keep your senses open to the spirits, you get this curiosity about it, like this sensation of experiencing something that is unique. You get the sensation of something often witnessed from afar, but now is being held up before them, almost. And you sort of get this sensation, this understanding that most practitioners of the light are blind to the spirits. They can't see them, they can't sense them, and so to have someone who is aware of the spirits but also channels the light is sort of like, you see. It's almost like seeing an animal through the bars at the zoo and then having one up in front of you. And there's this sense of curiosity among the spirits of air that swirl around you. And as you open your eyes for a minute, you see that the wind is swirling around you. Your hair is being blown by it as you're looking around, and you look up and you see you stare face first into this large serpentine shape with a pair of wings just flapping lazily, keeping it aloft as it looks you in the eye with its sort of solid yellow eye with a snake-like slit with a mantle of feathers across its head. Its scales are pure white as it stares at you, with sort of tints of blue on the edges of the wings and on the underbelly. As it looks you in the face for a second, it just tilts its head.
Hello.
You say words to it, and it just flaps its wings and then disappears and just bolts up into the sky faster than you can quite reckon it.
Fascinating.
And a few minutes later, it sort of disappears out of the range of your campfire, and then is disappeared into the night.
That's my mind element.
I sort of take a note of what it was, and just sort of continue sort of again embracing, experimenting, and seeing most of the presence of the spirits left with him, I'm guessing.
Some of it, although you get the sensation the spirits are all around, and so they're still present, but a lot of the attention of the spirits has been moved elsewhere, yes.
Well, I want to learn about the spirits, and if the spirits want to learn about me, then hey, why not?
Yep. So that your watch was mostly uneventfully. Second watch.
7.
7. It's real windy out tonight.
Okay.
He gets all that.
Yep.
And you get it's windy.
Real fucking windy.
You're sitting around working on some of your inventions.
Doing some preliminary work.
Twisting metal into various spring shapes.
Yes.
Working out the process. You got like a pair of leather boots just kind of set aside that you're slowly like shaping up and measuring the metal attachments you had to put together on them.
Yeah.
Are you making spring boots?
I'm making spring boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mainly only to get my speed up so I can keep up with you guys.
But they're also spring boots, which are awesome.
Actually.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to have them so that if I take a fall, it'll cushion me a little bit.
You're becoming Mario the Goblin.
Yeah. Sure.
You can go ahead and roll me a tinkering check.
Twist this spring.
Tinkering.
back
This is
into its until
this isn't
good
the
spring.
craft.
To the mark.
Which craft? Tech device?
Yep, craft
It's
tech
technical. Okay. Yeah.
Or it'd be your
The engineering.
your
Yeah,
engineering skill.
Engineering skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
The skill that my next
Terrible
Forsaken will have in order
15.
to make technological things to plant on his own.
So yeah,
Just want to make that for a big tinker.
you managed to make actually
Thank God.
kidding.
There's so many technological devices that Forsaken can use.
You're the primary craftsman of this group, so I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna run down with you because I've had a conversation with Jack about updating the crafting rules, so we're gonna use
Oh, okay.
the set of rules that make a little bit more sense. So most craftsmen under the rules that we're going to use will. One second. So the crafting rules that we're going to use will basically be for most people that want to make something. They will divide the item's gold piece value by 50 and round up.
Okay.
And that is how many days it will take. They can basically put 50 gold a day into building something.
Okay.
But you, as a tinker, because you have industrious haste, normally you would be able to make a check. Let me make sure I have my work here right. You increase that speed by a factor of 7. So every day that you are working on something, you can typically turn things out relatively fast. So for you, it's going to be 350 gold worth of progress that you can make a day, and you can make.
Oh, okay.
And you can. You can make a check every 5 days, basically, of continuous building to make something. And this will be your first day moving towards those spring shoots. So you can put a number of gold pieces of materials that you set aside up to 350, which I don't think you have the full 350 available.
No, not yet. I don't have about a tenth of that.
Yeah. So how much progress do you make?
So 15. Gold beam 15. Well, so what is the if I use 30, 50, I've got essentially 50 gold worth of materials, or 35. So how does the roll enter into the engineer?
It's basically you make one check every 5 days, and if you succeed, you're making progress. For the 5
succeeding
days.
is just a.
And if you succeed it by a significant amount, you can complete it faster.
Right. So that's just so that's 1 day. But I have to have enough materials to.
Yeah, you have to have enough materials to make the progress, but you make as much progress as you can.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
So you make about 50 gold progress.
Yeah. All right.
And I will talk to you about the specifics of what the spring boots will do and what they'll cost. After the session.
All right.
So that's most of your watches. You're working on the boots.
Okay.
Third watch. 21.
21.
Also, while I'm on watch, I'm watching, and just like removing all the leather bits from sort of separating out the pieces of the 3 sets of plate armor that I have, so I can, when we get back to Razor Hill, I can more easily forge them.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a blacksmithing roll.
Yep. 19 on the die, which makes it 26.
26. Give me 1 second. So you manage. So from all the material, including the damaged metal and the leather, you manage to salvage from these 3 suits of armor, basically, that you managed to gather. About we'll say, because it was 3 suits that have been heavily damaged and they're the wrong size for you, but you can still salvage a lot of the metal, not all of it, but a lot of it. You get about 300 gold worth of materials.
Okay.
And it's just materials. You can't spend it on things.
Yeah. I'm wanting to turn it into, basically, once we get back to Razor Hill, I'm going to work on turning it into a suit of plate mill for me.
Yeah.
That's not enough for a full plate. It's not even enough for half plate, I don't think.
What? 300?
300.
Half plate 600.
Half plate is 600.
No, half plate is 750.
Half plate is 600. I have it right here.
Oh. Never mind then.
What's the next lowest after half plate?
Banded mail is 250.
How much is that? How much AC is that?
Plus 6.
Plus 6. That's twice what I have now. So.
Yeah.
But you will make only 50 gold progress every day that you make the check.
That's
Which,
fine.
to be fair, will only take you 5 days. It'll only take you 5 days to make a suit of banded mail.
Sweet.
But you will need blacksmithing materials with you. You'll
I've got
you'll need
tools.
access to
I'll
a
need
forge.
access to a forge. Yeah.
Yeah, for the 5 days that you're working.
So that's I'm just basically prepping everything right now, sort of just idly communing with the spirits of earth and fire. It's like when we get back to Razor Hill, we're gonna don't worry.
You can also make a breastplate if you want medium armor.
How much does that give me?
200 plus 5.
It gives you +5, so it's 1 less AC, but it's got 2 less armor class penalty, and you can still run in it.
Also, it has a +3 maximum agility bonus as opposed to the +1 the banded mail has.
I have +0 agility.
Yeah,
bonus.
that's not
That doesn't
relevant.
matter.
Yeah, that's not the problem right now.
That's not relevant.
It's not relevant to this boy.
My agility is 10.
Yeah, breastplate has 1 less AC, but yeah, 2 less armor class penalty and doesn't reduce your speed any.
Yeah, I'll probably make a breastplate then. How much is the breastplate?
200 gold.
200.
4 days.
Well, it still reduces speed, just not running speed. Because they both lower your speed to 20 instead of 30, but you can still run at full speed. Heavy armor reduces your running to triple, not quadruple. It also makes it harder to force march wearing it.
I don't run a lot.
Yeah.
What we're saying is I'm a slow guy. I'm a blade master that doesn't dodge. I will have the dodge feat because I have to, but I will never dodge.
You can't take the dodge speed if your dex is less than 13.
Right.
I'll need to get my dex up.
I mean, you'll get an ability score for the next level. So.
Yeah, that will have to be a 12 though.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Anyways, can I take it if my agility gets magically modified?
Alright, so.
I thought you could do that. You just can't benefit from it after it's lowered again.
No, that's vice versa. If you have a feat and your ability goes below the requisite feat, you can't use it again until you have the ability back up.
You probably rejigger one of the points from your abilities, from your starting abilities for that, because I know you wanted to have that working. So.
I'll be able to. I mean, it'll take me an extra. It would take me an extra level because I wouldn't be able to get it up until 4, until 8.
Yeah.
And then you have to take the feat at 9.
Yeah.
You may want to do some rejiggering.
Yeah, I'll do
We'll
some
figure that out in post.
I'll figure that out later.
So that's most of your watch.
Yep.
Fourth watch.
Rolled a 13.
13. So with the sunrise, you also spot
35 kill.
35 quill boars. No.
All aimed at you. Good.
You didn't know you could aim a quill boar.
Not
You
hard.
can. You like put it in
They
a cannon.
they have points. It's very easy to aim a quill board.
I'm thinking you put it in a cannon.
But
I'm
as
working on
as
later. I'm gonna
as
do,
you
I'm
look
gonna do
as you
that.
look to the east where you're headed,
Something similar.
with the rising sun, the rise of the sun sort of puts shadow to a lot of the creatures that move with the sunrise. And as it rises, you spot several of these shadow shapes in the sky, these serpentine, long serpent-like shapes with wingspans that appear in the sky and are moving west.
Yes, nature lords. You know,
It would be nature or religion.
I swapped my call stamina for my didn't do it. Which lowers my hit points by 3, but that's okay.
I only got an 8.
And an 8. You know wind serpents, they're part of your culture. You know that they're significant to the Tauran people. They're seen as sort of animals that are in tune with the spirit of air. They're often seen as messengers of the air spirits. But you don't know a lot about what they are on a physical level.
Okay.
But you know that they are moving. You see a large number of them moving west towards you
Towards us.
because you're looking east and they're all coming this way basically.
Okay.
Did I see anything on my watch?
It's dark.
I have dark vision. I have low vision.
Yeah. You're also looking down, ripping leather and metal bits off.
And we all get up.
Yep. Everyone slowly comes to consciousness.
Alright. As people wake up, they wake up to the smell of bird being cooked, as eagles and snakes are being.
We also have rabbit.
Better than eating Alliance members.
They stopped me from doing that. I actually don't have any people meat.
Good.
And my harpy meat's probably all eaten by now. It's probably, I've got a bunch of pork jerky. I'm probably, how big are these eagles?
Like from like sitting on your arm to about that high, so
About the size
I'm
of a turkey.
thinking,
If you think about eating a full turkey.
okay, so cooking one,
a lean turkey, but yeah.
Yeah, real skinny.
alright, so I'm probably cooking both of those for breakfast and
Yeah.
then smoking.
Also, remember we've got two orcs, a half orc, and a Tarn.
Trolls also eat a lot.
Also, yeah. So
I
Yeah.
mean,
each one of us could eat a whole turkey.
No.
you
No,
say
no,
the
no.
half orc, but
The half orc probably eats the least out of all of you, aside from maybe the goblin.
aside from the goblin,
Here you go.
aside from definitely the
Regardless.
goblin, like
Double eagle being cooked and then snake is being jerkied. Question is, how well is the eagle being cooked?
Double eagle with a side of rabbit.
The
Maybe-
eagle is being cooked adequately.
Adequately. It's cooked.
It's cooked. It's not like
Chunga
bone
dog.
dry.
It won't kill you.
It's bland but not like tough.
And like a brace of conies, so a pair of rabbits, will feed one orc.
so. Wait,
You got a meal for yourself.
Yeah, it's just.
you mentioned the air serpents. Do I see those as well?
Yes.
Do I see them now?
Yes.
Ah,
Heading west.
wind serpents. Can I tell anything about their formation?
Lunch.
You can roll me nature.
Spirits.
You can roll me nature.
Those.
Yeah, they taste like feathers.
That'll be 22.
For one, that's a lot of them.
Yeah, they're
Like,
fleeing something.
wind serpents are typically solitary creatures.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them currently heading west, away from where you're going.
The one that I saw, did it go west or did it?
Yeah. It stared at you for a minute, bolted up into the sky, and continued to go
Wind
west.
serpents do not typically congregate. They're solitary, moving only as the whims of the spirits move them. That many moving in a singular direction means something very bad is the other end.
We're going that way.
I saw one on my watch as well. Seemed to be heading in the same direction.
Well, all the more reason to keep moving.
After all, the last time there was a large flux of spiritual energy, and well,
Tidal wave.
There was a flood, yes.
Garrick went swimming.
Less swimming, more drowning.
Things happened.
Try to get tall, you can talk.
That's what I was thinking too.
Mumbling to myself.
I'll jump out of our skin. You can speak.
So mount up, ride out.
also as we ride out, I will, and by tell the party, I mean probably the only one, possibly two people interested of the meeting that I had with the air serpent on my watch.
Air spirits are flighty. You are blessed to have one come so close.
You'll notice, as speaking about it, the troll is intrigued and does listen. You think.
Maybe.
At least he's looking at you and, like, not.
Not like me.
Oh please, there's no meat on these bones anyway.
That's it. More meat on you than on the human.
He's looking at you and not in that sort of, like. You know how you can tell when a dog is, like, actually. Like, when you tell a dog to sit and you've got a treat in your hand, the dog doesn't care that you exist. The dog's like, there's a treat in your hand. This is more of, like,
Legitimately
this
interested.
is more like, I'm curious. What is happening?
You don't speak, but you're very
I'm very
emotive in your
emotive.
body language.
It's not difficult to tell what.
I get a
I take
massive
that
bonus
from
to
the
sense
turn of
motive
two hammers.
against you, basically.
No, I get a massive penalty to bluff
I'm not a Farseer.
Same
with
thing.
my 6 charisma.
Right now.
Cool.
No, the elementalist got the hammers.
Yeah.
I'm an elementalist.
You're the Farseer. At that point in the storyline, you are the Farseer of the Earthen Ring.
So when he tells us about the serpents, I remember on I think it was the first night we were heading towards crossroads. Crossroads. The night I took watch, the shadowy figures moving towards that, and I let him and everyone else. I let everyone else know before that night after that morning, so I
Right.
let him know that too. Hopefully that wasn't.
Well, we'll find out what is causing the spirits to migrate soon enough.
Whether it is the cause of all the commotion in the world or simply a symptom of it.
The cause would be the dragon.
And hopefully not other things as well. We'll see.
We continue on.
All right. So you continue traveling east for another 8 hours, and the air gets very warm. It's a warm day in the Barrens. It's always a little bit warm, but there's a hot wind blowing towards you from the east, and it is particularly warm even for today. It's not the sun beating down on you. It's this wind is blowing very hot.
Also, I've completely forgotten what season is it again.
It's like midsummer.
Okay, so it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
I'm gonna commune with the spirits as we're riding and see if there's anything I should be warned about on the way.
Roll a spirit check.
Ahead of us, like, hey spirits, what's up? It's your boy. That's a natural 20.
Actually,
It's your boy
as,
Garrett.
as he starts doing that, I just want to sort of see if I can see any of the spirits' presence, like around him, or just what happens as he does that.
Yeah.
I pull off.
Okay,
I pulled my totem off my
18.
forearm where it's strapped, and just sort of hold it out in front of me with both hands, letting the wolf guide itself for now because it doesn't need my guidance.
Yeah. And so so you're watching as Garrett clasps this totem in his hands, and you just faintly see this essence, this wisp of energy that sort of swirls down from the clouds above and swirls around the totem in his hands, and then kind of suffuses the wood of the totem. And you see this faint glow in the center of the totem, the eyes of it, and then that energy that diffuses the totem then swirls up the arms and into the lungs and the breath of Garrick. As Garrick, you feel the spirit of air fill your lungs and your mind with knowledge, as is the nature of air. It carries change and knowledge on the winds. And you receive a warning. The spirit of fire is active and angry. There is danger to the east. It's cryptic, but
That's exactly where we're going there.
Yep.
you get the sensation that to the east lies flame.
Do I get the sensation that maybe Mancrick lit the Quillbores on fire?
It's hard to say.
No.
just all of the Quillbores.
So is it like
So
this just fire, or is there a slight smoky barbecue smell?
do we get a barbecue? Is there a barbecue smell on the way?
Smoked Quillbore.
I just breathe out, letting it go.
And as he does, you see that same wind essence kind of leave him and then travel back out of the totem and into the air again.
Strap the totem back to my forearm. Fire is enraged ahead. Apparently something is on fire.
Always promising.
You should probably put it out.
If it's
Or have a barbecue.
Let us go commune with the fire and see what it burns. Heading in that direction.
Sure.
And it's getting dark again by the time you hit another 8 hours of travel. And yeah, there's an orange glow on the horizon even as the sun is setting in the opposite direction behind you. And you can you're still got about 4 or 5 hours or a little less before you would hit where the mountains that you would estimate the Quillboars to be at is. But you can see just this orange light over the crest of the mountains that you can only assume is a massive fire.
That would be our fire.
they're like ash or smoke or
Yeah, sort of drifting on the wind. There's just this faint trail of ash that comes with the oncoming wind.
I'm gonna
okay,
take
so
a
it's
minute.
not volcanic.
I'm gonna
as
take a
much.
minute to re-up Mark Kin on everybody. Well, should we press on? We'll wait first.
Let's move.
So wait, what was there?
was
What
it a-
would have
was it
been
a
there according
forest?
to the map?
According to the map, would have been a Quillboar den.
Well,
Like I said, Man Crick.
That was his name, man.
We should probably move ahead.
It's probably been.
I
hit
would
by-
agree.
I only wanted to stay away from that place because there were Quillboars. And, well, flaming Quillboars are a little bit less of a threat.
They're already partially dead, so.
Unless they've become infused with the elemental flame.
Unless the silly dragon is over there.
Elemental flame infusing Quillboars would probably be worse than regular Quillboars.
It doesn't look like the fire currently on their den is getting along with anything in its path.
But we can't tell. But it would be good to find out.
Yeah.
It would be bad for such a flame to spread to what little wildlife there is left in the Barrens.
And
We'll proceed onwards.
any of you who want to can roll me either survival or nature if they want to inspect any of this ash.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Alex inspects.
That's-
How
yeah,
the fuck
survival.
out of some ash?
22.
20.
22, 20.
14.
Okay.
Didn't roll so well.
He's got good modifiers. but he's
15.
still off.
18.
15,
Yeah. Turns out,
Also, would
plus
the-
10 with a 4.
Would the spell sounding give me
15.
anything? Like, normally it's used for, like, basically seeing, like, through natural terrain and stuff.
That's for like sound. That's for like finding caves underneath you, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it would...
In fact,
Because it says it can find specific, like, veins of
veins of like
certain
like
things.
ore.
Yeah.
Or-
I think it's more for.
Fire's not a vein.
I mean, yeah, but if it gives any idea of possibly the composition of it, I don't know.
I suppose if it's really hard.
Yeah,
it's a cantrip, so it probably doesn't go that far.
Sounding is more to like knock on the stone and then get a sense of where the reverberations go.
Okay, yeah, figured.
Ash in my hand.
There's not there's not enough for the ash.
Okay.
Knock on the ash. Where does it go? In my lungs.
Pretty much.
Those of you who made who made 18 or higher,
Shoot.
20.
this is wood ash, which is strange because there isn't that much wood in the Barrens.
Yeah.
That is the thorns.
The brambles of a
Brambles
Quillboar
of a
den,
Quillboar.
yeah, they grow massive brambles. That would technically be wood, yes.
This is the brambles of the Quillboar den.
Maybe.
Man Crick set the Quillboar den on fire. We should go.
Well, they would burn fairly well.
Well, we can get more smoked stuff for the troll.
Actually, when they grow the brambles, would the brambles still be alive?
Yeah,
Or
that's
would they-
Yes,
that's
they're still
living
living.
wood. That
That'd be pretty
shouldn't
tricky to
that well.
burn.
That shouldn't burn that well.
Yeah.
But this is going
It's
up like
gonna be
this
a
is going
hot
up like a
fire.
fire.
It's gonna be like lava, magma. I know there's been a dragon around here somewhere. I mean, why else would those things be
Find
leaving?
out what we're looking
No.
at.
Yeah, let's go find out.
I imagine.
Scout it
the,
out and then run like a big dog.
That's what wolves are, yes.
Yes. That's the point.
Like a big dog and a chicken with no feathers and a rhino.
If this was him, he's certainly living up to that burning blade name.
Whatever.
Chickens and ostriches are surprisingly different.
We head on.
Yep. So you continue on to the night.
Yep.
So you're going for another 3 or 4 hours before you start to crest the hill, and yeah, when you get a better view at the areas where you knew the Quillboar Den to be, just these massive branches of brambles that would normally be curling around the faces of the hill and forming this sort of barrier around the Quillboar Den, this sort of covered in spikes, is all just ablaze. These flames burning high into the night.
I would like to look around and see if there are flaming Quillboars too.
Or axes in Quillboars.
Or
any sign of
burning
anything.
blade. I get a sense the burning blade has come through here. I just want to know if it's still here.
We found the burn. Let's see if we can find a
The
blade.
blade.
I want to see how natural this fire is.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your survival.
I roll a natural 20 on my spot check.
Yeah.
See what's around.
I did not roll as well, 16, but
29.
This fire is not natural.
Like, when you say not natural, are we
It's-
talking like...
Green.
Green flame?
Oh, why would it be making an orange glow then?
You don't.
Because-
This fire is not making an orange glow.
No.
This fire is making a green glow.
So there's more fire on.
There's more fire further in. You can see. You can
Oh,
still see the orange glow further on.
The green glow would have been a relevant thing to say earlier.
I was waiting.
Well, see, the thing is, if the orange fire is larger, we might not have seen it. Because the green
Yes.
fires, have you ever seen, like, weird colors of fire?
Yes,
They still
that's just low.
produce normal firelight. It's weird.
Yeah, you have to look at the base of it exactly. What
Because
what is
as
burning.
the fire gets away from the green, it turns back to normal colors.
Yeah.
So the flames will be orange.
Yeah. These flames are green, and the green glow is incredibly washed out by the orange glow behind it.
So
Is it only burning things that are flammable, or is it literally just here and things that are flammable are inside of it?
Yeah. The green flame is just on these brambles and on this hillside.
So I would like to rephrase my spot check. I'm not looking because it's green. I'm not looking for Mancrick. I'm looking for demons.
And those of you who are looking around,
Demonic activity.
the green flames are contained, like they're only burning these brambles that are here at what would be the front of this Quillboar Den.
Is it being consumed or has it just been burning for
Just burning.
a long time? It's
It's
just
just
burning.
still burning. Like
It's not-
you suspect that the brambles beneath are almost completely ash and they're still burning.
Yeah.
Demonic fire.
Yes, it's some kind of.
Is there any way?
Not good.
Is there any entrance to the den, or is it like just completely covered?
Yeah, the front end where you would suspect the entrance to this den is excuse me, is completely aflame. You would not be able to pass through into the den without going through the fire.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Can we tell if there are any living creatures?
That's what I'm hoping.
Not
Is
lying-
there any squealing, basically?
Not lying around the outside.
Okay.
So what have I seen with my natural 20?
There are drag marks on the outside of things being brought into the den. There is no bodies. There are no bodies. There are no weapons. There's no armor. There's no equipment outside the den.
From whatever knowledge I have of the Burning Blade, and of orcs in general, do I have any idea of if a member of the Burning Blade if they were to fall back into demonic influence, would they be able to produce that fell fire?
No, Burning Blade are not warlocks. there have in the past been warlocks working among the Burning Blade, but
Yeah.
the warriors themselves are just savage warriors. They're not warlocks.
Okay. So unlikely for Mantis to be the one to have done this.
Brick and Leaf, make me a spirit check.
That's only a 10.
That's only a 4.
You've seen this tactic before.
I've seen this time. Oh no.
When the Alliance needed to deal with stubborn holds, they would block off entrances and set a fire. The fire then spreads and the enemy has nowhere to run. And so they're cooked from the inside.
Seems to make enough sense of a tactic, but
You notice this spell fire is not spreading. It is just on the entrance and is continuing to burn, likely blocking off any quillbores from escaping, and there seems to be a standard fire further inside.
So we're in the hills, right? I mean, just a bit. It's kind of a hilly terrain.
It's mountainous.
Should we go up a little higher and see what we can see around the area, just to see if there's any troops hanging around waiting for this to burn out or something?
Potentially.
and it seems like
No,
they've.
if we go higher, we'll be in the heat draft of the fire.
Well,
Make it harder
just for a little
to
bit.
do anything.
It seems like these particular areas of Fellfire were set intentionally on entrances. It's a common enough siege tactic. Specifically, the Alliance has used it a lot, but
I am concerned with the fact that there are reports of Twilight's Hammer in the area, and now we have Fellfire on a Quillbore den.
I'm just curious why they would need to do this.
Pettiness.
I mean, were they really worried about the Quillbores interfering? Were they trying to send a message?
Those who consort with demons don't necessarily care about anything but what they've been told to do or what they find fun.
Yes, but the ones that actually find any degree of success usually have some coincidental link to one of those two. To something productive.
If I dismount and go toward the fire, how is it getting really hot really fast?
Yeah,
or is it,
like this fire burns hot.
so
There's probably hot air blowing at us right now.
I cannot get close enough to throw dirt on it to see if I can put parts of it out.
I mean, you can. You need to make me a fortitude save or start suffering heat exhaustion.
I probably can't put it out anyway.
Does it look like it might spread further out?
The Fellfire? No. The Fellfire is
The fire
contained.
behind it.
The fire
stay
behind
back.
it?
If it's that hot, I'm gonna stay
If
back.
it's a regular fire, it should burn out when all the brambles burn out.
So it doesn't
Yes.
seem like there's anything else
But they're
to
not-
spread
they're
to.
not.
Yeah, no,
Burning out.
these are rocky environments.
Well, I'm not concerned with it spreading further out, and I will shed a few tears for the Quillbores within. Though if our people were in there, I doubt we can save them.
If they were in there even without the fire, there wouldn't have been much hope at saving them.
Should we camp out for a day and see if anything happens?
We need to get this information to Razor
So
Hill
move on.
even more. We'll camp here in the light of the fire.
Yeah,
We may want to
pull back
get
a
away
little
from
bit.
there. Perhaps
Yeah,
not
pull back
one
a
of the
little bit.
reasons.
Not like 5 feet from the fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
One of the
In the
reasons they
fire.
may have done this is if
they
the
come back.
if the Quillbores took something that they wanted, they could have set this fire, destroyed the whole thing, and rummaged through the ashes for what they wanted. It's one of the reasons they could have set this
so they
fire.
could be coming. There could be an
They
army
could be
coming
coming
back.
back.
So
we don't want to be near.
we want to
them,
be
not within eyesight.
at least an hour's ride. off.
Close enough that we can
Yeah,
see
we'll
if they
see
do come
see
back.
from a distance if we can find a high point.
Yeah. Well, actually, preferably not a high point, because we
Well, so we can look
Someplace
over,
good
but
to
we can see
away
inside.
from something defendable too, in
Yeah.
case they do see us.
That's fair.
Right? Someone.
So find a place. We want to find a place nearby.
Or Yeah,
Yeah, we can-
on the backside of
hide
a hill,
out.
maybe a
To-
backside of a hill, so we can.
Yeah, backside of the hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the watch can
Go ahead. Anyone who
see
wants
over.
anyone who wants to look for a decent spot, go ahead and roll me survival.
Survival.
Yeah.
17.
Don't rely on me, folks.
27.
12.
That's almost as high as I can roll.
29.
29.
That's higher than
There you go.
19.
Find a hill.
Yeah, so all of you manage to look around and find a spot that is hidden roughly between, kind of nestled between several different hills that sort of crest together into forming almost this most of a bowl kind of naturally, and it gives you just enough of an outcropping to still see the den and the flames, but you are relatively hidden from the rest of the environment. That would probably make an ideal spot to camp for the evening.
I'm gonna Mancrick's axe is it double-bladed?
Yeah.
I'm going to plant it in the hill so that for easy access if it's needed by anybody really.
Except
sort of
me.
Right next to where the watch, like where we'd be watching from.
Mhm.
And I'll take first watch.
What's our watch order?
I'll take second.
I'll take third.
I'll take 4.
Actually, don't you have a lousy spot check?
Yes, I do. So you want me to sit this one out? Maybe I should. Maybe I should work on my projects.
I don't think it is.
Okay. So first, second, third, fourth.
Everybody roll
Sounds
me a
good to me.
Okay.
I rolled a 20.
Alright.
I'm keeping an eye out both for any activity around the fire and also if the fire was
Oh no, Rudy.
It's not the worst.
Okay.
Also for if the fire wants to have a chat with the shaman. It's like, hey, fire, how you doing?
I mean, a 2 isn't
It's your
technically the
boy.
worst. So I don't know how much what you're saying fills me with hope.
2 is not the worst.
So,
1 is the worst.
first watch,
-1 is.
as you sit and watch the flames,
Better than what you thought.
It's not even the second worst.
you just get wordless rage echoing from
It's not the
within
worst.
as the flames burn out against anything that is in their path. They're not here to talk. They're not here to converse. They're just here to burn.
Yep.
And your watch passes mostly uneventfully aside
Do
from
I hear anything from the fell fire?
No, it does not have a spirit. It just exists to consume.
That would have been concerning if I had, so that's why I checked.
Your watch, other than that, passes mostly uneventfully. Second watch,
I got a 16.
16. You, by now, the regular flames are starting to burn out, and so the orange glow is slowly subsiding, being replaced more and more by the green glow of the fell fire that is still burning strong. And as the night stretches on, there have not been any screams, any noises from the inside that have reached the outside, whether it's the roar of the flames or the fact that they're all already dead. You have not heard any sound other than the sound of the flames.
I'm also going to be doing sort of the same thing that I did last watch as well, just sort of seeing what kind of attention from the spirits
You're
I
gonna listen
draw.
to the fire. That's gonna be fun.
And also potentially seeing if I can, seeing what sort of spirits are around here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of seeing what sort of attention I would draw from them.
Fire is aggressive, and it's loud, and it's angry. Go ahead and roll me a spirit check.
Ooh, that's a 19.
19.
Multi-class priest, tinker, shaman. Priest, tinker, human, shaman.
The spirit of flame. You don't have the bond that a shaman does with the spirits. You don't bargain with them. You just barely are able to hear them. But
Yeah, and most of this is just also, again, sort of embracing the holy light and seeing what sort of attention from the spirits that draws.
yeah, and fire is not paying you any mind. It is angry, it is raging, it is consuming everything that is in its path, and then it will leave. It is... Fire is on a warpath, if nothing else, basically. It has been called and it will consume. And anything in its way is more fuel for the fire.
Both literally and metaphor.
And you don't... It's almost quiet compared to last night. In terms of spiritual activity. There is nothing paying attention to you here. And even the comfort of the light is shuddering in comparison to the ferocity of the flames.
Does it seem like that would have to do with the fell fire?
More than likely, yes.
Like, just sort of analyzing, sort of from a holy light perspective, I guess, sort of consulting that, as far as with the fell fire and just the demonic energies of it. Is that sort of, I guess, both what's causing the spirits to move away and...
You can only surmise that the presence of this fell energy is causing the spirits to retreat from it. As the spirits, the elemental spirits especially, are keenly aware of the world around them, and fell energy, as far as you have understood it, is uncreation, essentially. It is raw destruction and entropy and chaos. It exists to unmake things, and the spirits want nothing to do with it. And your watch goes relatively uneventfully other than that, and you return to sleep. Next watch.
9.
9. Even the fell fire is slowly starting to burn down now. And other than that, everything goes relatively quiet. Fourth watch.
25, and that was a natural 20.
Hey!
As the embers of the fell fire slowly start to burn down, there's just a blackened scar where this Quillboar den used to be. The ground itself had been scorched by this fell fire, and the flames have marked the cliffside. Even the regular flames have left their mark on this environment. Leaf, as you dream, you have a strange dream, but one that's been recurring every so often recently. You see a man, a human, in Alliance colors, wearing the armor of a footman, sword and shield gleaming in the sunlight. As he stands on a grassy hill of green. You recognize this landscape. This is from the Eastern Kingdoms, somewhere around the Kingdom of Lordaeron, you would say, which is, is no longer lost to the Forsaken. But as you watch this footman clash his sword upon his shield, you see across from him stands an orc, decked in the reds and steel colors of the Horde. And wordlessly they shout and they run at each other and they clash. Axe and shield and sword and armor meet and part and meet and part in this deadly dance as these two warriors put everything they have into ending each other.
Congratulations, your dream is the Warcraft 3 intro cinematic.
And as they duel, as this fight continues, the ground around them slowly ignites. The spark from the clash of their axe and sword catches the grass, and the flames begin to burn. and still they fight. The combat goes unabated as the flame burns around them until they're hemmed in by a ring of fire. And still they fight. And as the flames catch on to them and they begin to burn, they continue, they fight. Clash after clash as the flames consume them. They continue to swing axe and sword at each other. And as the flames burn them down and there are only bones left, you wake up. And it's the morning.
I guess you saw something to watch. I guess you saw something to watch.
And this is around the time that your watch is ending. And aside from that blackened scar, nothing eventful seemed to happen.
Alright.
We all wake up. After the attacks.
So there's no.
All of you awake in the morning?
Hope so.
Yep.
So there's no troop movements or anything else.
Not that you've seen.
You want to go inside and see if anything attacks us?
Seeing this is going, I'm actually
Yes.
just going to go ahead and walk inside.
Yeah, like
Hopefully they follow.
heading over.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have paused for a moment just to sort of look at the burnt out area and then started walking towards
I was looking more around everything else first.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything new, basically? Now there's no fires or anything more we can surmise about this area.
As you get closer and the fire isn't pushing you back, you see there are drag marks everywhere of things that were brought into the den before the fire was set. Almost like whoever set this fire wanted to make sure that everything burned.
Yeah, that sounds just about consistent with the motives of the people who would use fellfire.
I doubt they're going to return. If they were dragging the bodies of the dead or the bodies of the living in here to set them on fire, they've already retrieved whatever they want from this den. If they wanted anything in the first place.
Well, should we go in and see if there's anything else in the ash? Like,
Yes. Let's see if there's anything at all that survives.
it's like any kind of metals or anything that might have survived.
Or
people.
Yeah, well,
or perhaps
Right.
any evidence of our Blade Master friend.
Yes.
I take the lead going in.
Alright.
As is my being the party tank.
Right behind him.
As you walk through, there is bleached bone and bits of burnt out metal, heavily scarred and mostly soft or unusable at this point just by the mixture of bone and flesh that has been scorched to it.
Yeah, we filter it out. Get that bone out of there.
Scraps of ash.
Well, if the carbon's been burnt into the metal, it's
it's going to be too.
I mean, it would take a
much
process to separate it out, but you could
Yeah,
still
it
separate
would
it
have
out.
to be. It would have
you'd
to
have to completely
Remelt.
smelt the metal.
It would
Yeah.
essentially just be mining it back from ore again.
Yeah.
Like, which isn't, again, it's still valuable, but not worth our time.
not worth the weight.
Yeah, not worth the weight specifically. There's only
Yeah.
so much stuff we can carry.
Yeah.
And the bodies that you find are mostly Quillbore, but not entirely. You find a small handful of orcs, one Tauren, two trolls, unrecognizable in their state, but just by what little remains of flesh and bone.
By the skeletal structure.
Yeah.
Tauren tend to be pretty identifiable.
Yeah, and trolls still have the massive tusks.
And orcs are distinct, and orcs are also distinct from quillbores.
They have some jaw,
Yeah.
and they're big.
So
So lots of ash and it smells bad.
Lots
Oh,
of
yeah.
ash and bone.
it's like a charnel house in here.
Any
Yeah.
sort of any indication of like another weapon that might have the burning blade mark on it that
Nothing you
would
can
survive
see.
fire or anything?
Nothing you
Any
can see.
particular groupings? Like, are all of the horde races like in what might have been a pen, or
They're sort of piled around each other, like they might have been in one area and maybe huddled together against the flames, but there are piles of quillbore bodies like stacked on top of each other in some locations and then scattered throughout.
so it's likely that the piles were dead before.
The piles were dead before the
could
fire
be.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It could have also just been, crowd mentality, just been crushed to death by the crowds trying to get out.
The fact that there are dead members of the horde here means that whoever did this was likely working with. Well, I mean, the Hellfire also proved it, but this is further proof that likely we're dealing with Twilight's Hammer. We need to get back to Razor Hill. How close is this to Razor Hill?
You are probably
Is this the other side of the den that was already next to Razor Hill?
no.
No, is nothing dead? Okay.
You're about 16 hours, maybe
We need to get back to Razor Hill.
2 days
2
ride.
days. Yeah.
Is there the Twilight's Hammer about?
You'll still have to cross the South Fury River.
Oh yeah, if we go, but we're farther south than we were before, right?
Yeah.
So we
It's
still have to go
been
across.
it's been about 5 or 6 days since you
Yeah.
left Graldom. Who
Yeah.
knows? Then if they've had a chance, they might have got construction underway on a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue on.
Okay.
Heading up till we hit the river.
It doesn't take you long to hit the river.
Yeah.
You're gonna heading north from there, or you're gonna try and cross right where you're at.
Does it seem like there's a way to cross here?
Not here, but you're several hours south of what would have been Farwatch. So
We're at the footholds of the mountain range. Is there no land bridges or anything over here?
no.
Well, they were talking about doing something with a bridge type thing. So if we go north and see if they have something
Yes.
instead of
Yeah. Well,
any Crocs.
You can definitely see there are crocodiles in the river.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with those.
Let's
things.
keep going. Go north. And
Nothing at all.
let's go north and see about the bridge.
north to the bridge.
Because there was mention of that happening.
So you travel north for another 3 hours, maybe. Maybe even only about 2 hours actually. But you eventually, you come across what appears to be a work crew that is currently in the process of rebuilding the bridge across the South Fury River. They've set up like guidelines across both ends of the river, and they've got supports that they're starting to put together on both sides and starting to build the basic foundation of a bridge.
Does it look like they've got like a worker's bridge to go across?
Yeah, they have a guide rope
Yeah.
with like a slat bridge that is supported. It's by no means enough to like carry large shipments, but it could get you guys across.
So as we approach,
Even the
look
the beast.
Maybe. And you look up, and one of the orcs who's working on this bridge looks up. From Ka, travelers.
well, look, we need to get across with speed.
Well, until the bridge is complete, you'll have to use the access bridge for our workers. Just careful with the beast. It should support them, but one at a time.
Yep.
Brick, if you'll go first with your Kodo.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so Brick leads your Kodo across, and the bridge creaks a bit, but it supports.
That way, if it breaks, they can fix it before we take the other animals across.
It creaks, but it supports. It holds your weight.
I mean, hey, I could fix it.
Yeah. I
No.
could help a little bit.
So,
I could help faster.
So, one at a time, you slowly lead your animals across the river. It takes, moving slowly, it takes about 5-10 minutes, but you get all of them across. And then you are back on the South Fury watershed.
And continue on.
There's still no road left, but
Continue on towards River Hill.
yeah, you know where you're going.
As directly as possible.
So you travel east for another 6 hours before it starts to get dark again.
And we'll rest.
And I'll also mark on the map that the bridge is under construction, so.
Yeah.
Re-up Mark Ken on everybody. I'm basically just going to do that every night when we stop to rest.
And I'll continue with the same thing on my watch. So.
Unless we get ambushed in the middle of the night before you get your mana back.
I mean, and then I've only lost 5 mana points though.
Yeah,
That's the first one.
Sure, that's fine, yeah.
And then, so you all, your rest and
5
your
mana
watches,
for a +3 with flanking.
your rest and your watches go uneventfully. Although, again, you're plagued with that same dream again. And you all get your full night's rest in. You're no longer exhausted at all. You would that would have been solved the second night that you took a rest.
Yeah.
No longer exhausted.
And you all get up and begin to make your way back to Razor Hill. It's another 8 hours of travel, and you do manage to make it to. By the time the sun is setting, you've made it to the outskirts of Razor Hill. You can see the watchtower has been reconstructed. It's standing again. There are guard posts. There are patrols moving. A little bit more presence now that everyone seems to have been able to regather themselves and ready again. And there's a watch, actually posted, which was not viable for the first couple of nights. But you make your way back into Razor Hill. It's dark though.
Heading to Commander Garthok.
We'll go there first.
Alright, so you head into the main hall of Razor Hill, and once again, Garthok is. It looks like he's finishing up his work for the day, and he's about to be heading to sleep. And you see he's kind of like brushed his long hair just kind of back, kind of tugs on his vest a bit, loosening it up a bit, kind of feeling the strain of the day. And as he's about to leave, he spots the group of you. I see my scouting party has returned, and with our missing member.
Well, to Garthok, we bring dire news.
I had hoped that would not be what you would tell me on your return, but I had suspected as much.
And I will detail all the information that we have learned over the past several days and weeks.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and lay out the map and go over the geographical changes. You'll probably go over more of the
And also sort of like indicate
Twilight Hammer stuff.
the various attack locations and everything. Like this is where I suspect Twilight Hammer troops disguised as Alliance troops attacked Camp Tarajo. This is where Alliance troops in a desperate attempt to do something, we're not sure what, attack Crossroads. This is where we found indications of Fellfire and dead members of the Horde at a Pillboard Den, likely also Twilight's Hammer. Also Mancrick's axe.
Yeah, see if he recognizes that.
I mean, just explain to him that we have an axe belonging to a Burning Blade member of Mancrick who's currently missing.
Well, a missing member of the Burning Blade is an interesting bit of trouble, but everything else that you brought me is perhaps even more grim. I don't know what our enemies have planned for us. I can't figure out their movements. Why burn a Quillboard Den to the ground? They seem beneath the eyes of someone like the Alliance or like the Twilight's Hammer.
We're also unsure as to the reason behind the attack on Crossroads. Unless it was desperate attempt at survival, there were no rations found amongst the dead.
All this violence. I hate to say it, but it's violence for violence's sake. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason or advantage for it.
I also detailed the ebony knight that I saw at Camp Taurajo.
This black armored man. If anyone knows anything about this, it would be him. But from the sounds of it, no one's seen him more than you, basically.
One survived. There is a human, a warlock, out near Camp Taurajo who is hunting the Twilight's hammer.
Spit on the ground.
We may know more, but that is a distance away.
Well, this is certainly a conundrum you've given me. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can do. I am commander of Razor Hill and not much else. I am to oversee the protection of this city. I don't have the forces to send into the Barrens.
Though it is certainly important to realize for the sake of our own forces just how close a threat like the Twilight's Hammer may be.
If they're burning quillboard dens for no reason other than pleasure, there is another nearby.
That's right.
Also, for us to continue on our scouting of the lands, we will need either ships or zeppelins. The cleft, and indicating the map, the cleft in the Barrens is deep and will require passage around it.
I don't think we'll be able to scout much further then. We don't have access to those kind of provisions.
Is this information something we should continue on northward to Orgrimmar?
Yes. Sarfang will know what to do. This is a bit beyond my depth.
In the morning after rest, we will continue on to Orgrimmar.
Yes, this is likely best.
And that is what we shall do.
This information is urgent. I'll send you with a wyvern wing.
Very well. In the meantime, I will go speak with the shamans. They should know that Fel is around.
Good. Take any preparations and provisions that you need to prepare for the next few days. I suspect you'll be getting busier from now on out.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna actually make two stops. I'm gonna go talk to the shamans, and let them know. Hey, so these things have been happening.
Yeah.
Get who's back again. Twilight Hammer for your friend.
You all head out of the Great Hall, heading in different directions. Shiona, you're the last one heading out of the building, and something catches your attention, and you hang back as the rest of your group head out in different directions, all heading out to their next objective. And you look over your shoulder, and you see an orc with his arms crossed, leaning against the wall of the Great Hall, wearing black leather, his purple beard kind of trimmed short, looking you square in the eye, and you recognize him as the individual that called you out in the crowd one day, looking at you.
Yes.
You head over to him.
Yeah, she does.
I see you're back.
I see you're alive.
Well, I have a busy job, but I heard the news about what's been going on, and I may have something that needs your skills.
Alright, what is this?
You're heading to Orgrimmar tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Let's just say that our war chief is well-intentioned and all, and I'm sure he wants to resolve all this conflict with the Alliance, and he wants to crush them all and, you know, claim the world for the Horde. But if he's going to do any of that, we're going to need to solve a problem that we got inside. I need you to take this, he says, and he hands you a small black leather bag. Inside is a signal. I need you to take it to let me think who you might need to speak to. It's not going to be anyone above board. You're going to need to go to the Collective Shadows. And yeah, so you're going to need to go to the Collective Shadows, and you're going to talk to Gordul.
How do you spell that?
Gordul.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be one of the higher ups of the old Shattered Hand clan. So you'll be able to make him out by the fact he's only got one hand.
His other hand is a blade.
A knife, specifically.
That's cool.
And talk to him and give him that. And he'll tell you who needs to die. We've had words of spies and insurgents in Orgrimmar, and this needs to be dealt with quietly without raising too much of a fuss.
Okay.
Because if word gets out that we've got spies in Orgrimmar, there's going to be a panic.
I understand.
All right. Do the Horde proud. He turns and disappears. You head on your way. You're heading to the shamans. Anyone else doing anything?
I know this isn't what I know. He's got like that character has actual like
So,
but I always
I'm-
imagine that.
I've done a lot of investigating of the terrain around here. It's been a week.
Kind of.
I'm gonna kind of do a reassessment and see if things have returned to a semblance of normal.
It's less that it's returned to normal and more that it has a new normal.
But things have settled down.
Yeah,
to
things have kind of calmed a little bit. Things are a little more standard now.
Okay. In that case, I'm also going to. So I've heard tale of this winged snake thing, which intrigues me because I've never seen one of those before. I would imagine not, right?
No, probably not.
You understood what they were saying?
I understand speech,
He
just doesn't use
he
it.
just can't speak it.
or I don't care to. It's kind of irrelevant which one it is.
He certainly can't write.
I certainly can't write. No, the big thing with me though is I understand nouns. I understand when he says there's a snake and it has wings on it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to sort of, because he said that it met with him in the sort of terrain. So I'm going to go snake hunting. Not like in a I'm gonna go kill some snakes, but I'm just gonna go like stalk some snakes and see what's up with them.
Trying to find some winged serpents.
Sort of. Well, I'm like, did snakes suddenly grow wings? The rest of the world's changing. Why not?
No, yeah, you find some snakes. There are perfectly normal snakes around. So it's definitely not just all the snakes have suddenly grown wings.
Okay. Well, I need to get clarity here.
Yeah. You definitely find snakes that are normal snakes.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not doing anything useful for the afternoon. That's basically what I'm like.
All right.
Trying to figure out this whole snake with wings thing.
all right. Anyone else?
Yeah,
You're headed for shamans.
and then also after that, I'm heading to the blacksmith.
Okay.
See if I can't either trade this material for a breastplate or have them make one for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to trade a shield and a heavy mace and a long sword for some materials for my boots.
Yep. So, yeah, you
Like
sell
half
them
gold damage or half gold.
You said a
value.
shield, a heavy mace, and a longsword.
Yeah.
What kind of shield?
I don't know.
It was a footman shield.
It was a footman shield.
Oh, yeah. So heavy steel shield.
Heavy.
Longsword. You'll get about 5 gold for the longsword. Mace. Light mace, you'll get
It's a heavy mace.
a heavy mace.
Yeah. That's only a couple gold difference.
Yeah, you'll get. Actually, it's more than twice the price. You'll get about 4 gold for the heavy mace.
Okay.
And the shield will get you, heavy steel will get you 10 gold.
Okay. All right.
I need a shield.
Oh well.
So since you have the
Really?
masterwork,
Well, I mean,
The
holding
tools.
a small shield
Tools?
doesn't
Masterwork tools.
because what kind of tools were they specifically?
Tinker tools.
Just
Just for
tinkers.
tinkers?
Yeah.
Can you use bigger shields?
Would those have like sets of lenses in them?
Probably.
Probably.
Are you going to try to refract the holy light?
I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds silly, but I mean, you know, I'm kind of experimenting with how stuff reacts with the world.
the holy
so-
lightsaber.
I mean, if
I
I
mean,
can
I could
build like a
grind some-
holy lightsaber of healing, I totally will.
I could grind. some
Actually, remind me to do that
lenses.
at level 10, something like that.
When you
Oh,
become
when
a tinker,
When I get more levels in Tinker, remind me to do that. Holy lightsaber.
There is,
Holy
yeah,
lightsaber.
there is something. Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
basically
I
asking
make lenses. I mean, we could grind out some lenses or something if we can find enough crystal or
Not
glass
that-
or
like-
something.
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
I just want to see if
Magnify?
I can borrow some of them, just for a little bit.
I mean, if there's
There's probably some like magnifying glasses and like
Yeah.
other refracting lenses, probably.
okay,
Just some of the stuff that you're not using. I don't know.
sure.
He's gonna try to burn
Yeah.
that hill down with the holy light.
Except it would be healing, so it would be like
Like welding.
It's not the light that kills him; it's the heat generated, though.
but I'm curious, like manifesting the whole just physically through that. I mean, can it be magnified? Actually, that's basically going to describe
That's what
how
you.
I'm going to be spending a fair bit of my time with this. Is like
You're playing with
experimenting with how these spells manifest into the world. In other words, I'm doing experimentation that you would expect from someone who is a priest of the Holy Light about to try to take levels in Tinker.
Yeah.
Experimenting with that sort of thing, while also in the background, you know, seeing as well how the spirits interact with the world as well, because again, less familiar territory to me,
Yeah,
but
I think
also
you're funny.
potentially useful.
You got anything?
Probably just resupplying stuff to ready my runes.
Mm.
That's about it.
And
Right.
resupplying on food also sounds like a good plan for
Yes.
everybody. So
We all want to get some days of rations.
Restocking rations.
I have 18 copper.
The talk of the shamans is just it doesn't need to go through. We don't need to go through it. It's just literally just saying, hey, there are Twilight Hammers, and there's Twilight Hammers in the area.
spirits are, they're messing with the spirits by
Yeah.
summoning Fellfire.
You warn them. You guys can get trail rations, by the way, at 5 silver a day.
Sweet. And can I trade the the material that I have for a breastplate, basically? Blacksmith.
Yeah, they'll take all that material for a breastplate.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Which means that my AC is now 16.
I'm also going to
What's
talk
the armor
with
class penalty on
them.
a breastplate?
Let's sort of
What's the AC penalty on a breastplate?
Armor class penalty is 4.
talk with them, do a bit more research with the shamans about more about the air
You got a mithril
serpents.
breastplate.
What?
You got a
As
mithril
well.
breastplate.
What you get is basically that wind
So it's light
serpents
Yeah.
are
That's armor class penalty.
animals that are naturally in tune with the spirits of air. They're not themselves air spirits, at least as far as most shamans consider them, but they're conduits of elemental air, basically. A lot of them, there's a number of them that are just animals that the air spirits are particularly good at channeling through, but there are a number of them that are actually like sentient magical creatures. There's a wide variety of different kinds of wind serpents. And some of them are sentient creatures that have some magical ability. Many of them can channel air spirits to breathe lightning or various other forms of light elemental magic. And they are, if any creature can be said to be naturally attuned to elemental spirits, they are naturally attuned to the spirit of air.
Mhm.
I keep putting my party backwards.
And so, if there's anything else, you all get a night's rest.
Yep. Re-up Markin.
And you all wake up in the morning.
We get to We get to ride wyverns back to Orgrimmar.
Wide.
Say that 5 times fast.
We get to ride wyvern. Ride.
We have a new theater exercise.
I'm taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar. They're taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar. They're taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar. They're taking the wyverns. They're taking the wyverns. They're taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar.
Okay.
It works. It scans.
All right. So,
We're taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar.
yeah.
Are we now?
I'm
But
not.
where are we taking them?
We're taking the wyverns to Orgrimmar.
And so Sharpmane is there again, and he guides you again on riding these wyverns, and you all make it again just an 8-hour flight as opposed to 2 days ride. You make it back to Orgrimmar.
Find Overlord Salfine.
Yeah, you all land back on that massive plateau above Orgrimmar proper with the Wind Rider Master, and you're led over to the elevators upon request.
We'll get that walking conversation of where's Overlord Salfine? We need to speak with him. We have news.
You'll probably find him right outside of Gromash Hold.
Thank you, brother.
And you head down the elevator into the Valley of Strength and
Over to the hold.
make your way to Gromash Hold, and there again you do spot the massive imposing arc that the ceremonial armor of Warlord Sarfang makes as it kind of arches above his head, and you see him sort of standing outside of Gromash Hold, sort of barking orders to peons and grunts, sort of keeping order regimented around this area of the city as you approach.
Overlord Salfine.
He turns and faces. I recognize you lot. You're our messenger party from Razor Hill.
We have additional news. Scouting, but we've We've been scouting out the Barrens in wake of the recent desolation brought upon by tidal wave and dragon both. And we have learned that there are new threats in our lands. The Twilight's Hammer are active in some areas, posing as Alliance soldiers. In addition, Alliance soldiers have attacked Crossroads. Camp Taraho near Mulgore has been destroyed, as well as a Quillboar Den near Razor Hill has been lit aflame by the Twilight's Hammer. Fell fire was present.
Hold on to the rest of that story. Follow me. This needs to go to the highest. It's time for an audience with the war chief.
Oh, goody.
Put your war faces on, everyone.
Leaf stand behind us.
Don't worry, I have no clue what's going on.
And so, you all enter the main body of Gromash Hold, and you hear the sounds of conversation being had in the main room as an older orc's voice seems to be issuing a report. And the Alliance forces in the Eastern Kingdoms are being steadily pushed back by the Banshee Queen's Forsaken. We are receiving constant updates on the war front in that regard. And then Sarfang's voice kind of breaks up into the room. War Chief, I have a report. We have scouts come in from Razor Hill who have seen the state of the Barrens and have a report to deliver. The room goes quiet for a minute, and as you enter behind Sarfang, you see sitting on the throne of Gromash Hold, you see this massive wooden throne that stands probably 7 or 8 feet high and 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 wide, with sort of the banner of the Horde on the back of the seat, draping down, sort of white fur coating the seat and sitting across. A massive demon skull, hung by iron chains, rests on top of the throne. These massive fanged maw with a pair of giant protruding tusks that seem to have been severed off near the end, that rest above this massive throne that has sort of like wooden bone structure curving around it like supports. And sitting on this throne is one of the largest orcs you've ever seen. Brown of skin, implying the heritage of the orcs that were never touched by fell energy, as opposed to the green skin of most orcs. His face is his head is bald. There is no hair, but his jaw is tattooed completely black. It is completely pitch black across the entire length of his lower jaw. And there's a series of swirling black tattoos across his chest that extend out across his left arm. He wears heavy metal boots with sort of dark brown leggings and a massive iron belt with chains that sort of loop around to presumably hold his weapons whenever he doesn't need them. And these massive red iron and steel-colored gauntlets that just rest on the back of his hands as he grips both sides of this throne. And on these large red iron pauldrons are what looks to be the remains of that demon's tusks that have been wrapped around the shoulder and extend out behind him, and then a giant beast skull on the left shoulder. And this orc, this imposing figure, stares at the group of you with these eyes that are simultaneously piercing and burning as he looks across the group of you with this barely sustained constant simmer of anger that you suspect is just directionless and aimed at anything that is in his sight.
He also has all of his size and height sliders to the right.
He's bigger than you are.
I know.
And
his sliders go further.
you can't
Sliders.
Yeah.
you can't help but quake just the faintest bit in his presence as he sits and looks across all of you, not even deigning to stand yet. Speak. The eyes of Hellscream are upon you.
I sort of straighten up because I served under Warlord Garrosh. We have seen the breadth of the Barrens from the border of Mulgore to Crossroads and back to Razor Hill. We have report. I am losing my words. Me, the player. We have report of the Twilight's Hammer posing as Alliance troops, led by a black armored human with the strength to lift a Taran single-handed. That group wiped out Camp Tarajo. Alliance troops, likely separated from their forces, attacked Crossroads a few nights ago in an attempt to, we're not quite certain what, but they threw themselves at the walls with kegs of powder and reckless abandon. Then also, a Quillbore den near Razor Hill was lit aflame. The Quillbore and orc prisoners that had been taken by them, trapped within by fell fire while the briars burned. This is all we have to report.
The war kindles anew in the Barrens, and our enemies are at each other's throat. And in their clash they threaten the people of the Horde. I will not let this stand. Only one nation has the right to rule this continent. I've let the elves linger too long. And now the rest of the Alliance would come to take our lands. I thank you for this report, soldiers of the Horde. Now, we send the armies of the Horde to scour the Alliance from our lands. With this knowledge, I thank you. I have an assignment for you. When you've taken a day to rest here and prepare to move out, you've proven yourselves to be adept scouts, according to my reports. I've heard word from Razor Hill, I've heard word from Sarfang on your previous assignment. I need eyes on the southern Barrens. And I need eyes where the Horde does not yet have lines of communication rebuilt. I will need you to journey to Stone Talon Peaks eventually. But for now, you will be going to the Southern Barrens and meeting the commander of Desolation Hold. He has not lived up to my expectations, so you will be relieving him of command and placing in his place the commander I will send with you in the morning. You will follow that commander's words to the letter until he dismisses you to travel to Stone Talon. Loktar Ogar, the eyes of Hellscream are on you always. Dismissed.
Salute.
Yeah.
Turn and walk out.
Very dignified in our walk.
I'm not dignified at all.
Just until we get out of sight. And then we can start screwing around again.
Leaf does not look happy in the slightest.
Nope. Once we're outside, Twilight's hammer is the threat, but we go to fight the Alliance.
Yes.
What else would you
He's
expect?
he's got a one-track mind.
We'll do as we are ordered.
Maybe that demon skull above him is controlling him.
That demon skull belongs to the demon Manaroth. The
Yeah.
pit lord who tainted our people with this, I say indicating my skin color. His father, Grom, killed it. Sacrificing his own life and freeing our people from demonic taint. I imagine it's there in honor of his memory. Well then, I guess we all have the day here in Orgrimmar before we need to leave. Does anyone have anything they need to do?
I have a few things I need to do.
Would you like assistance or accompaniment?
No.
Very well. I'll go see Samura.
Alright.
At the very least, I say indicating that battle axe. And we'll see what we'll do with Mancrick's axe.
I'm going to sort of explore around with the sort of refining my sense and idea of the spirits more so.
Alright, so that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. Anyone else have anything?
So moving
I
around
know what
all
you're
of those different areas.
There's not a lot of wilds around here, right?
No, this is the city.
Is there anything that I could try to scavenge to make my shield a bigger, better shield? I mean, I'm assuming it's made of wood as it is.
Yeah.
Pull off some black iron from the wall.
Like, not exactly that necessarily, but like, there's not a lot of wood in the Barrens.
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding something that someone won't miss around here.
Yeah. I'm sure that there are,
Next time,
buildings that are being rebuilt.
next time we kill a footman, we'll keep his shield for you.
Go ahead and roll me a search check. See if you can find something that is appropriately not being used by someone.
Unnatural one, Austin.
A 1.5.
It's a -1.
You almost find a giant piece of wood, and then someone else picks it up and goes to put it on a building, and that's about it.
Okay.
It's that sort of Pixar shot of like you turn and you see it, and you go, ah! And it's like sort of like rack focus back to the board right as someone picks it up, puts it on the wall, and nails it there.
So what you're saying is, I do that lost feral troll and civilization bit.
Yeah.
It's like, what is even going on here? Okay. That seems appropriate.
Yep. Alright. Any of the three of you? Well, you already told me what you're doing.
He doesn't. I gotta find more provisions and more materials and stuff. Is there a way I can get a?
There are goblins here now. You can basically trade gold for scrap if you need it.
Yeah.
So before we separate, Josh, you wanted this barrel, right?
Yes, I want that barrel.
Do you want me
Yeah.
to carry it for you, or will you be using it?
Well, I'm gonna be needing it for.
Oh yeah, you had that barrel of gunpowder.
Yeah, we got a whole barrel of gunpowder. I mean that's worth quite a bit, but I can't afford to sell it either. I need it.
Some sort of catapulting device
Well,
to attach to the back of Brick. So you just like so Brick's walking artillery now.
no, I need it for my flintlock eventually. When I start using my flintlock, I mean I need some of that for that, but I also need some of that for making explosives, grenades and things.
I mean, you
And
could
other
probably
stuff.
sell the barrel for quite a bit.
I know I could. I mean, yeah.
enough to buy
But see,
more.
yeah, but see, if I can only sell it for about half price or less. I mean, it looks like I'm gonna.
I mean,
get-
depending
I'm
on
only
how well
getting
you
about
roll.
Depending on how well you bargain.
30.
Yeah, but then your lender's buying it
But then I
back
gotta
later
buy
for other
it
stuff.
back essentially because
Because he's going to use that
because
gunpowder
I need
eventually.
gunpowder. I need
Yeah,
gunpowder.
yeah.
It's better to hang on to it as long as I
Well,
can
you
get
probably
wet.
you probably at least siphon it out into smaller barrels so you can carry
Well, I
it
could put it
rather
in. Yeah, I could put it in horns and stuff.
rather than having
But I
Brick carrying it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a 15-pound keg.
it's a 15-pound. Well, I got rid of all my excess junk now, pretty much, except for the thing I'm working on.
Which grand
Which
total
is-
with the keg itself is 20 pounds total. 15 pounds of gunpowder, 5 pounds of keg.
I mean, your carrying
Yeah.
capacity is abnormally large.
Yeah,
Yeah, you are a pack
15,
rat.
150, 100. Yeah, I can carry that.
Yeah.
You just set
I
the
just-
barrel on top of the goblin and walk away,
Yeah.
wearing it like a hat. It's my patented gunpowder hat. It's just a barrel on your head. Gunpowder hat.
Oh no, more goblins with exploding hats.
Yes, exploding hats. Yeah, I'll hang on to it.
Nothing like the Bolting clan for explosions.
Or that one hat.
You just stick like a siphon in it and like a little thing. So like if you ever need to refill your gun, you just go chunk.
It's like one of those like
Well, can I find a place to get a job
Like
for the
the-
day or something?
the hat
or
with the
somebody
straw
that
on
needs
it.
Sure,
getting
go
done so
ahead.
I can
Like
get some more.
Yeah,
Go and roll me an engineering check.
instead of a straw that you
Engineering.
drink
Do some
out of,
work
it's just
for the foreman for a
for
day.
reloading your gun.
Okay, this time engineering is more exciting. Unless I roll like that. Well, 14. Shoot.
You make about 20 gold
Okay.
over the course
And,
of the day, just kind of fixing various seasons that need it, especially because we're in heightened alert state right now.
Okay. And I'm gonna cash out most of that into materials.
And you all have various tasks that you're going to get to. Shiana,
Yes.
you make your way to the Cleft of Shadows, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
And so you make your way out into the drag and then down into the area beneath the main plateau that the Windrider Master is on, and down into the purple lit darkness that lies beneath the main body of Orgrimmar. And once down there, you see this sort of sub-bazaar beneath Orgrimmar, where all of these individuals in various robes and dark leathers are performing tasks and practicing and doing what needs to be done over the course of the evening. You look around for the person who's really fighting.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a spot
one-
check.
One hand.
Gordor.
The other hand of the blade.
12.
All right. So, as you look around, you're looking around and not seeing the person you're looking for until you just kind of hear a voice over your shoulder. You seem lost.
She turns around.
You see an orc dressed in black leathers.
Fireworks.
An orc dressed in black leathers with a black and red hood pulled over his face and a black mask covering up to his nose. His left hand is completely gone at the wrist, and in its place is a small like punch dagger on a bowl on it where his fist should be, and his right hand is just kind of at his side, like behind his back.
And Austin sweeps behind the curtain for some reason.
That's not Austin.
he's not sweeping.
Oh wait, yes it is.
It is Austin.
Sorry. Gordul.
Who's asking?
Sorry, I'm trying to remember the guy that just sent me. Was it Mork?
Caplac?
Caplac? Yeah. Okay. I was sent from Razor Hill by Mort Caplack.
By Caplack, his name is
Caplack. I'm sorry. I need to reorganize the way I write things down.
And what does the spy master of Razor Hill have for me?
She holds up the black bag.
He extends his one good hand.
Hands it to him.
Holds
Two
it
one-armed
there,
people walk into a bar.
slices the top with his blade fist. It opens up, unfolds, and you see this like small black icon that is denoted with a crown split down the middle with a dagger put through it that sort of is bleeding. And he, all right, time to get to work then. He puts it in his back pocket. Well, I guess it's time to let you know then that we've got about 6 people that we need to kill. And that's where we're going to end for the evening.
Alright.
Great.
Say goodbye, buddy.
Farewell.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.